Yo, welcome back to another edition of the Cruising Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Cruz, and today is January 29th, 2024, baby. How's everybody doing tonight? First of all, where you can find the Cruising Podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, and anywhere you can find podcast needs. That's where you can find the Cruising Podcast. Also, where you find latest updates to the show is on Instagram at Cruising Podcast, also on Twitter at Nicetown Finance. All right, we're trying something a little different tonight. We'll see if this works. But we are doing Instagram Live tonight. We are live on Instagram. So if you're watching this on Instagram, hello. Welcome to the pod. If you haven't listened to the podcast before, please go check out the other 215 episodes. StreamYard just started letting us do live podcasts through their platform. So I'm checking it out right now, seeing how this works. Hopefully everybody's having a great night. I am having a pretty good night. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go work tomorrow. I don't want to really think about that, but it's all right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's just pretty much what's going on tonight. Right now. It should be interesting. Just gonna let everybody know right now. If you ask any stupid questions, I will be it will be met with vitriol. I'm not going to lie to you. Also, there to family members that are probably listening to this right now, just letting you guys know there will be a little bit of cursing. Okay, just letting you know. All right, I'm a godly fellow, but we do a little bit of cursing here. All right, just letting you guys know. I might talk about some things that you might not want to hear. You know what I mean? I'm just putting it out there. If you don't, but please stay. Just say it. Just love you guys anyway. But yeah. So we're here. And I wanted to talk about really what's cool about the internet. First of all, this is my first thing that subject I want to kind of talk about. There's two subjects today, but this is the first one. What's cool about the internet is that it helps you reconnect with family members, long lost friends, fraternity brothers, things like that. Recently, I got to get back in contact with one of my fraternity brothers. We're going to say Scoop, and we got to play Call of Duty for the past couple days and just have conversations, man. It's just like it's cool that you get to reminisce, about your college years and back being young, man. Back when we was like just young and no thought process, you know what I mean? Just go around playing NBA jams and going to school, things like that, man. I miss those days of just being able to just walk around the corner and ended up at a brother's house, especially his. It was always cool. Me and him always play like I said, we play NBA jams. Of course, he won a lot. I think he actually probably won all of them. Because listen, back in the day, okay, the Sixers didn't have anybody on the squad. Okay. Now the Washington Bullets, because that's what they were at the time during NBA jams, they were the Washington Bullets. The Washington Bullets had Calbert Cheney and Chris Webber. And for some reason, I'm just putting it out there, Calbert Cheney was unstoppable on NBA jams. I didn't understand it. I'm not a fan of it. It bothers me a lot. But they had Chris Webber too. And so the Sixers had a young Jerry Stackhouse. I think Clarence Weatherspoon is who I had to play with. And that was my team. And I'm sitting here, and what was cool is that like me and him playing, and just talking about the fraternity or just talking about life for real, man. Like that was one person that you could just sit down and just have a conversation with, and we were actually into the same things. Like he was a big James Bond fan. I'm a big James Bond fan. Like we watched, like I'm telling you, my mom used to have us watching like GoldenEye and From Russia with Love, Sean Connery, all of them, man. It was pretty cool. I miss those. I do, like I said, man, I miss those days. And like it was cool about Call of Duty is that you can be across the country or you can be in the same state. Hell, y'all can even be in the same house and y'all can be playing online and just and having fun and going back to the days of like when everything was just chilled out for it lets you escape for those 2 hours. And I feel like I'm just trying to say how I'm going to do this. I don't know how to do this, but like it's a nice escape. You know what I'm saying? I get to talk to my nephews over the line. Like that's That's the good thing about online. Now, being called all the the crazy names that you get called, you know what I'm saying, and all that. Like my brothers are across the country right now, and so I played the finals with my brother. It's actually not a bad game. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's nasty at it right now, but we about to catch up. And also, yeah, he's gonna listen to this and be like, "What?" And then my other brother, me and him play Call of Duty and like NBA 2K and things like that. And so, just catch up for it. It's an easy way to catch up while having fun, while doing something like not just sitting down on a phone and talking and watching something or things like that. We're actually sitting there like actively playing video games, doing call outs, and then also saying, "Yeah, man, the cookout was like this, that, and third, or things like that, man." And talking to the kids and things. It's actually an amazing tool. Okay, it's not just for speakers out there to sit there and call you the N-word and talk about your mom or whatever. It's just that's not just what Call of Duty is for. Okay, it brings people together, and that's what's awesome about it, man. That's what I love about the internet. It does help out, and also I can give you guys updates about my life. So that's cool too. We're here. So all right, that is the first thing. This is the last thing. I got to watch Griselda, um, the Griselda series, the limited series on Netflix. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong. It was supposed to be Jennifer Lopez that played Griselda Blanco. Now, yeah, by the way, this is a story. This is practically a dramatization. What the fuck is that the word? It might be the word. I don't know. But it's a dramatized form of Griselda Blanco's life, especially after she becomes during her rise to becoming the queen pin or the godmother, as everybody would call her in the Miami area. But what's great about this series is that it does touch in stories that most people wouldn't know about her, and then other stories like that everybody knew. You know what I'm saying? Some of the killings and things. Well, most of the killings, and also once again her rise to becoming pretty much a drug kingpin, drug lord of the Miami area. So why won't it show me view comments? That's stupid. Okay, but so what I like about watching these like kind of like docu series and limited series, especially about people, is that I go and I start to go learn about them. Like I was like, Griselda Blanc. Damn, did that really happen? All right, let me go check it out on Google. Let me Google it. And I think that for me, as a historian, as somebody that likes history and loves history, I love to learn about the people. And then, I've heard, we all heard the stories about Griselda Blanco. Because let's be real, we all have heard about her. And to read about it, to what happens to her family, what like that all her husbands mysteriously die. Crazy. It's not really mysterious, but they die. All right. It's like in the way she became the queen, the godmother, the way that like just the way she ran her organization, way she ran it was awesome. It was cool. But I would like to say this. I understand people wanted to sit there and talk about, oh, Sofia Vergara's too good looking to play Griselda. Look, listen, they did everything possible to like make her not look as good as she is, and they failed miserably at that. I'm just putting it out there. You failed miserably. Y'all put the prosthetics, like they gave her like the buck teeth and like kind of like try to sink in her chin a little bit. Like you tried. Y'all did your best. I do have to say, y'all must have spent millions of dollars of doing that. I'm just letting you guys know you failed. Okay, I'm just putting that part out there. They did, she still looked amazing. I'm just putting it out there. But that should not be the forefront of the show, of how the show was reviewed. Now, it's part of it. Don't get it twisted. It is part of it. But because that was the argument with having Jennifer Lopez playing Griselda Blanco was, if you've seen the pictures of Griselda, come on now, let's be real. But I don't want no disrespect, but she don't look like Jennifer Lopez. But no, but how many women? Okay, let's be real. How many people do look like her or Sofia Vergara? Let's be real. It's very hard. But I like the acting that Sofia Vergara did, like the descendants into madness. Like as you guys probably see the title of this episode, with absolute power, It corrupts, absolutely. And you got to see that throughout every single episode. How that power, once she got more power, it corrupts her more. More power corrupts her more. More power. Oh man, I gotta kill this person. I gotta kill that person. Like it was crazy. Like, and then the one episode, the penultimate episode, you're watching it and you're just like, this is where everything culminates into her madness. And I don't know if this actually happened in real life, or maybe this wasn't part of the story. But I was watching it, and I was just like, she's descending into madness, mostly because she gets to the top and doesn't know really what to do once she gets to the top. To me, it seemed like once she got to the mountaintop, it was like, oh, the fight's kind of over. Like, I don't really have to fight anymore. I have to find a fight. And that's, I mean, that's a lot, man. That has to be a large weight on your shoulders. Like, she was just making sure everybody understands how much Griselda Blanco was making at one point. She's making $80 million per month. Now, Frank Lucas in the 50s was making $1 million a day. That was huge in that time period. It was like 50s, 60s. I'm sorry. Frank Lucas, what, 60s, 70s, maybe? Something like that, around there. That was a big thing. Frank Lucas was making $1 million a day, especially during that time. That has to be huge. She was making $80 million a day in the late 70s and the early 80s. What was that? Okay. In the early 80s, she was making that much money. By the way, I love what they did in the beginning too, is that um Pablo Escobar said, he said, I only feared one person in this life, and it was a woman, and her name is Griselda Blanco. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this, main thing I didn't like was, you're gonna give us that passage. I'm sorry, this might be a major spoiler, but if you haven't watched it and you don't know her life, that's your fault. But this might be this, just in case, letting you guys know, this is possibly a spoiler coming up. Well, it is a kind of. I'm letting you guys know right now. But what I didn't like about this a little bit was they never showed her relationship with Pablo Escobar. I wish they were able to do that part, because that is actually a major thing in their life. And like, apparently they had like a mentor mentee relationship there. Remember, she came from Medellin, Colombia, and or well, close to Medellin. She's from Colombia, but I wish they showed that dynamic too. I wish they showed that dynamic at one point. It was only, once again, the show's only 6 episodes. It did kind of go a little quick, but her rise to power and her loss of power were very fast. And it's crazy. It's crazy that they fit a lot. They did fit a lot of things with 6 episodes, like her really trying to like scrounge up money and scrounge up like just relationships to get her to a point to where that she is, becomes the queen pin, becomes the, I mean, damn, why I keep saying queen pin? Because it's a kingpin and the queen, whatever, godmother. And I like that, like they had the same like subject, not the same subject matter, the same they always went back to her sitting down with her cigarette in her hand and like drawing a line with the cigarette and like saying godmother, La Reina. You know what I'm saying that, and it was totally a greatly told story. Now, most people don't know who she is. I mean, most people don't know the story of her, which is understandable. Like, that's not a, it's not a, it really politicized. It's crazy because I just learned about Griselda Blanco maybe 10 years ago. And like, this is like, I used to watch like Gangland and all that stuff. And really, I didn't learn about all that. What the hell was that? Was that me? Oh, that was me. I didn't get to learn about all that until we got there. Until, really somebody said something. I think I had an ex that told me about Griselda Blanco, like if she was named after her, something like that. Like her middle name was definitely Griselda. But what I'm saying is that I do wish that they showed that, because he was greatly affected, and really his rise of power kind of mirrored what she did. And then And also, they didn't show the black boyfriend, which kind of bothers the hell out of me a little bit because she did have a black boyfriend that she tried to have killed not once but twice, and he survived. I'm just putting it out there, just letting everybody know that he survived twice. There's pictures, okay, of her and him whipped together. Just putting it out there. I'm mad they didn't do that part of the story either. Bothers me. I ain't gonna lie. I know they had a short amount of time, but what we doing here? We do know that that relationship did happen. That ultimately did get her put in jail. Like I understand you have to story up a little bit, but like we could have went to the black boyfriend part. You know what I'm saying? Because we be slanging. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. But like I said to you, like I'm saying to y'all, man, I enjoyed the show. I think Sofia Vergara killed it. If she doesn't get some type of Emmy for this performance, y'all tripping. I'm sorry, y'all tripping. She really embodied the personality of somebody that gets the power, that's starting to work towards the power, that wants to get more and more and more, and it's corrupting her mentality, it's corrupting her personality, it's making her a completely different person than what she is. It took the mission away from I'm doing this for my sons, I'm making sure that my sons have a better life, to I want to be at the top. I was a me. I want to be there. And you forget she forgot her mission. She forgot what she was doing this for in the beginning, and sitting here and reading her Wikipedia page and reading like some of the biographies about her. I mean, not biographies, but the information about her. I'm just like, yeah, man, she's kind of a black widow. You know what I'm saying? And at 69 years old to be gunned down at 69 years old, that hate had to be real. Like that hate that whoever went at whoever killed her in Medellin, like that is almost 40 years. She died in 2012, by the way. She was gunned down in 2012. The same style. And by the way, there's another thing too. So she really revolutionized Sicarios. Just putting it out there. People don't, just because people didn't know. She was the one that kind of started the whole people roll up on motorcycles, light up a car with like a Uzi and then drive off. That was straight from Griselda book. They never showed that, first of all. Secondly, that's the same way she went out too. This crazy part at 69 years old. Like for real? Like y'all couldn't I know, I understand, but y'all already did y'all already did most of the dirty work in like the 90s. Like like right before she got out. If that's true, by who here's what I'm thinking. Because they still don't know who did it, but just in case people don't, all right, so I'm gonna make sure that people like it. Well, I'm trying to think how I'm gonna say this. So, by the way, her eldest, so she had 4 sons. 3 of them were murdered. The eldest 3. You can read this in biography. That's your fault if you didn't know this. I didn't know either. But just so I'm boom, there you go. Sorry, damn. Why is my like I even moved in here and now the internet's still messing up? That's weird. All right, so what's crazy is about this whole thing is that all 3 of them were murdered at some point in life, at different parts of life. Like when you're sitting here watching and she's being told about it, it's like, oh damn. I said these motherfuckers waited until she was about to get out of jail and killed all 3 of them in one foul swoop and didn't kill the last one. And the last one got caught. Like they all got into the drug trade. Like she literally did all of this to make sure that her sons had a better life, and they still kind of was wrapped in this life. It's kind of crazy how it becomes a family business. And I guess it's not gonna work on Instagram. But you sit around here, you're watching, it's just like, damn, like y'all couldn't escape this shit not one bit. Damn. So watching this and just like they all were killed. Like the only one that wasn't was the youngest. I wonder why why they left the youngest alone, which all right, I mean, at least one of her lineage stayed alive. But you sit there and you watch and it's just like, fuck, man, they really had nothing to do with the business. But if watching the movie, I mean, if you're watching the show, you start to think who might have did it, and you want to say it was the Ochoas. that got to her family. But I think the Ochoas weren't really around after Pablo took over. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think the Ochoas were around when really Pablo took. I got to rewatch Narcos. That's my fucking problem. You know what? That's probably what I need to do is rewatch Narcos. But you sit around and you watch, and it's like this is conspiracy theory time. Um, like if you watch the show, free up space on features on Instagram might not work until you clear data from other stations. What? Whatever. So I think it was somebody that she tried to kill earlier who they missed. That pretty much that's all you could say. When she tried to get him killed earlier, that she missed. And yeah, that's what I think happened. And he wasn't gonna miss. He wasn't gonna miss. I think that was a retaliation, not from the cartel. I think that was a retaliation from somebody very close to the family. Very, very close to the family. If you watch the show, that you know exactly who I'm talking about. I think it's that person. But I mean, he would have to have people in Colombia, which is possible. And well, yeah, probably Miami too, I guess, or wherever the kids move. Damn, that's wild. I just thought about that. You're welcome. All right. Is it weird? Okay, this is my last thing. Is it weird that I wanted her to win so bad? As bad as things got. I hated that like the one cop was on her ass the whole time. Like she made it her career to get her arrested. Like just the theory, just as soon as she got a theory, like I think it was a woman that did this. I think it's a woman that's taking this over. And it's like, yo, she made her whole career based on getting this woman put in jail. Like, damn, get off her nut. No, I'm playing. You're just sitting there watching. I'm just like, yo, she made her career out of really one person in her life. And you could tell that it was weighing on her. Her acting was good too. I don't know her name, but her acting as that detective, she did an amazing job. Like when she was chasing Griselda, you can feel it that it was weighing on like all her relationships that was really hurting her that she could not catch this woman like in time for like all these murders to happen. Like when you sit there and watch with Syntax, when the Syntax starts to get going, you see it and it's like you can just tell like man this 8 murders in 1 week how like we just started and we have this woman is killing it. Like we have pictures of her walking around with fur coats and things. We can't catch her, and then when she finally catches her, you're just like fuck, we thought she got away, thought she was like, and you already know the story. That's the crazy part. I'm like I know the story, but I'm like damn, she gonna get with this? And then you just see the detective out there like waiting for her and sit in the back seat, start talking shit to her, like, yeah, you know, and then she was like, yeah, you thought about me all this whole time. I never thought about you once. Oh, yeah, that's why they're gonna give you the death penalty. And then you get sick in the fucking back of the car after you do all those murders. Yeah, you going back to Florida. Guess what Florida has? A death penalty. Oh my goodness. And I would like to say this Rivy's a real one. Just put it out there. Just in case when you guys don't watch it, just in case you don't understand. Rivy Ayala, real one. That's all that person, that's the person you hire. Okay. All right. That's the guy you hire. That's the guy you hire to do whatever you need to get done. Because yo, he did some real shit for her at the end. And like I loved it. I love that's he did it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Risked his own freedom, even though his freedom was pretty much he's a mass murderer. Let's be real. Pretty much like almost like he's a hired killer. So, with that part of the story and him like really kind of taking the rap for that long, like she only spent like if you actually watch, if you guys actually see read her story, I think she actually did spend about maybe 18, 20 years inside the prison. but she did suffer a heart attack while in prison. They tried to blame it on the smoking and everything like that, but you find out 3 of your sons passed away while you're inside prison. That might lead to some things. That might lead to some health effects and things like that. I don't think it was just the smoking. I would definitely say finding out your 3 eldest just died, murdered right before you get out and right before you get to like hug them again. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, it's like, nah, that's heartbreak. That's what that was. And to know that she like lived a long time, like for real, like it's crazy that they allowed her to live for that long. Like let her live like just with, I guess, with that agony forever, and it's just like, damn, 69. Y'all waited until she was 69 years old to kill her. I mean, like, damn, like she was a smoker, and what I mean, like you could have just, she was already. I don't understand that part of the story. Like that part doesn't, like that revenge factor is like, that's a generation removed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird because it was like, that's 40 years after, like 40, 50, no, not 40, maybe 30 years after everything that happened in Miami. You're just like, why are we, what happened here? Like, why did y'all waited that long? Like, I don't understand that part of the story. Like, they couldn't touch her in jail, so they got to her family. It was fucking, it's a fun situation. But man, like I said, y'all, man, with absolute power, it corrupts absolutely, man. So if you guys want power, that's what happens when you have it. It's going to corrupt you. Slowly but surely, you're going to forget what your mission is. So those that get to the top, make sure you know how to be at the top. Make sure you know what it's going to take. Make sure you stay at the top, and also make sure you remember why you got there. Remember that why. Some people forget their whys. They see a lot of money. They see a lot of either women or men. You know what I'm saying? They get everything that the world, everything underneath the sun, and you forget what got you there and why you were doing it in the first place. So don't forget your mission. Don't forget your why. That's pretty much the message of that show is. I know it was a drug kingpin. I understand, but like there was a time she could have just got out scot-free and got the fuck on out of there. But yeah, man, it's a sad story. It's a sad story for all the families and people that passed away and stuff like that. It's a sad story for her family. It's a sad story for just all those families. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta it's one of those stories where you're just like, damn, like you take one turn or maybe one right turn and your family's still alive, your family's still good. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I would like to say that's the show for today. Where you can find the Cruising Podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, and anywhere you can find your podcast needs. That's where you can find the Cruising Podcast. Also, where you can find latest updates to the show is on Instagram at Cruising Podcast, also on Twitter at Nicedown Finance. And with that, I would like to say, oh yes, yeah, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. Also, let me know how you're doing on Spotify, baby. You know what I'm saying? We need to know how you're doing mentally. We need to be up here together. So with that, please, oh my bad, like and subscribe on YouTube too. We're going to be on YouTube for sure. So with that, I like to say love all guys. If not, I'm gonna let you guys know real quick. We're recording the Patreon episode pretty much right after this one. So with that, I like to say I love you guys. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Catch you guys later. Deuces.